on that audition, say you'll come forward because you're auditioning for Beagle, but you could save these girls, Velvet. Velvet, you could save these girls. You're his wife. You got it. You got the tools. Velvet, you could.
Yeah, okay, Ryan. So
Velvet,
Velvet.
right now, guys, I just want to speak to Velvet in this camera. Velvet,
Go ahead.
listen to my voice. Right now, you could break the greatest generational curse happening right now. Your brothers and sisters are given a death sentence when they're infected by his diseases. You could change this. You have the key to setting your people free. Please help. Please come forward. Forget about then go on Bigo, and I will personally be your biggest gifter. I promise, forever. Oh my God! I just wish that you would just hear me because I believe in you, Velvet, and I know you know the truth about him, Velvet, and I listen to you. And I see the hurt and the pain, but I see a lot of courage in you. You know, I see that type of spirit in you, and I know you can come. I know you can do it. Just please, if you hear me, come forward. Please, you are the key. Listen, people have died in Puerto Rico after 5 months. The baby's supposed to be registered. They didn't register the death of that baby. Why is it like? And you know what bothers me? And I said this in many lives. Like there's. Why is it not an outrage in the media? Why is it not outrage about this guy? It's fun and games. I don't get it. And that's why, like, I just feel like when people say really mean things, I guess maybe I take it to heart. That's the problem. So that's why when I'm done with this, I'm out of social media because I already committed social media suicide by getting involved. And I was wrong for getting involved too quick. I made a mistake off passion. I made a mistake and I'm in too deep to quit. And that's what I mean, guys. I'm sorry I got in too quick.
What
Ryan,
I just feel
they
like
don't.
if you had a better plan, you wouldn't have spent so much money. That's a lot of money
Sorry.
to have spent in the
Sorry.
last 2 weeks.
Guys, listen, I'm going to tell
A
you
lot
something
of
I didn't tell you
medication.
before.
Just
Star had me convinced. And the moment she got here, she would come out of the room in just like this weird robe looking like the lady. If you watch Ghost, she looked like Whoopi Goldberg in Ghost in the movie Ghost when she was like a psychic, and she would they'd come out with me to Little Italy, and she wouldn't wear shoes. And I said, why don't you wear socks? Nothing, barefoot, in 3-degree weather. And I'm like, what? And she goes, because I'm a nature girl. I'm a part of nature. What does that mean? They're still stuck in it. These women have been so deceived they don't know how to get out. See, me and Blue know about the cults. We've been through it. But we also think about it. If each woman, if in the panels, if everybody would stop, and I want to, and I'm going to, like instead of arguing, why can't we talk about exposing what cults are? Exposing the lies of Alicia. Let's break down his teachings and show how he's lying and deceiving you ladies. Like,
Okay, hold
my,
on. There's people in the comments talking about there's nothing wrong with being barefoot. Okay, but you're walking
guys
barefoot on
in
the
That's grounding.
concrete
on the ground
into a
concrete.
restaurant,
Yeah,
into a restaurant,
guys,
into
I
a
brought it to
restaurant in the
Applebee's.
that.
city, in the city. That's an indication of
Come
mental
on,
illness.
everybody
Don't pay
was
That's a good
attention. Don't pay
Applebee's.
attention to them.
guys.
Don't pay
The
attention to
manager
that.
came up to me and goes, "Sir, she had a robe on, like this, or
The
head.
manager,
So
she can't, she's so brainwashed that
Right.
she can't
Mhm.
even eat at a
wait a
restaurant.
minute. So Ryan, did you? Okay, you said she went into Applebee's barefoot. Did she take her shoes off in the car or in front of the
No,
door?
she didn't
Yes,
wear
she
shoes
was
nowhere,
barefoot in the
all the time,
car.
all the time. The only time I saw Star with shoes when she came off the plane. That's it. And then no more shoes. She was barefoot the whole time. And it was like weird. Like in my car, like going like, come on, I'm
Okay,
going to an Italian
and
restaurant.
and
You're
you
walking.
guys are laughing. You guys are laughing. This is how
And then
mentally ill
Right.
these
she
women
is, yeah.
are. They're
That's how like your
mentally
brain
Guys,
is
I
ill.
texted
on.
Star
Yeah.
today. I offered her not to bring her, but I said if you want to go into an institution, if you're homeless out here, because I don't know where you are, I will find a place and get you there. I will Uber you if you go, but she never responded. So I don't know where she is. But people want to say I'm talking to her. and I'm not. So I just want to make that clear for the record because I don't have nothing for her. She is in my eyes, she let down everybody and me and everybody. She used me.
Well,
That's it.
one failure is not going to stop the show. It's a lived experience. It's a learned experience. Now you have more insight and a better and can see better how to approach the
What I
situation.
what I would like to know is the young girl that you guys talked about that killed her mom.
Hmm.
Is she still incarcerated?
She's on bail. She's on bail with her grandmother, and I'm not sure when her trial is coming up, but it should be coming up really soon. Um, So
Could
yeah,
you
you'd
privately
have to
message
get in
me
touch
any
with the
info?
Cape Coral people. I think she's in Cape Coral, Florida, or Coral Springs, Florida. I can't
Okay.
remember which city it's out, but I'll find out and get the information to you.
Yeah, because that would be a girl right there. Like, I mean, right there, I just want to let you guys know she has little like cards to play with the prosecution. Get some less time. Just let her know there's less time. Come on, all you
All
gotta do is
right.
roll over like 6ix9ine right there, real quick. Not roll over. I mean, not like 6ix9ine. You're rolling over for a righteous reason. Now let me say it like that. He's a piece of shit. Let me tell you something, please. Like any of you guys, listen. Any girls from combination, you guys gotta understand this. Eliseo is a narcissistic person. So when he goes down, if you were there, it's called accessory to the fact. You're going to go to prison with him. If one of you come forward now and set yourself free, you won't be tied to it because guess what? And don't worry about the NDA. An NDA is null and void if a crime is committed. Remember that. All of you girls in combination, remember that. Cause like this is stuff they need to know. This is stuff we gotta keep showing them. Like I mean, I saw like 5 of them baking some pie in the kitchen tonight. I just felt so bad. Like these girls are robots. He's there. Like it's sad. Like in America, the government is not doing anything about this. That's
Her name is Mariah Lynn Kelly, and she's from Cape Coral, Florida. She stabbed her mother and killed her mother on 6/18/2020, and the last thing I heard was she was out on bail in the custody of her grandmother.
what was the date that she killed her on? I'm writing this down.
It was 6/18/20.
Does anyone know the charges were? Like how the mom was murdered? I'm just wondering. I
Her
try to put some.
her mother, she and the mother had a very kind of, you know, tense relationship. And one of the things
Hold
that
on, hold on. Medusa, can you come up in the beam and explain your issue because you're an admin?
Oh no! Oh wait! Oh no! I don't want to do
No,
that. No
Ryan,
more
you have.
arguing. No,
Okay,
no, no,
so
no,
then
no.
take
We're
away
we're
her
on.
admin.
We're taking focus off. No,
right.
Take
Let's
no.
away, then take away her admin because she's saying that you're referring to women as girls, and I don't see
These
that.
girls? What do you mean girls? That's an East Coast thing. We say girls.
Medusa is coming
I'm
at
going to
you
see
in the
my girl.
comments.
I go
So
spend with my girl. Girls.
Ryan,
Well,
either let her up in the comments or remove her admin. It's
I
one or the.
understand that. I
Okay,
understand that, and I'm
okay.
still learning Beagle. I don't know Beagle well. You guys act like I've been doing this for years. She's removed. Now, can you
Okay.
boot her? Boot her, please.
All
I don't
right.
want her in here. I don't want
All
her
right.
in here because she's saying I'm talking to Star, telling lies. Go tell all your hatred and lies to everybody else.
Oh
We're doing it. Back to the mission, please. So you said Coral. So how
all
did she
right.
murder
She's
her
out.
mother?
She's out. She's out.
Thank
She's
you,
out.
thank you. How did she murder her mother again?
She's
uh
out.
one of the
Thank
principal
you.
one of the things that Eliseo teaches is your family are your attachments. So that's why he says to disconnect from your Babylon family and come to your soul family. So even before these people physically visit his camps, they are well indoctrinated with his doctrine via the videos and the music that they are required to listen to and absorb. So and she had been up under his teachings for quite a while. So she got to this camp. It didn't work out. She went. He abandoned her at a hotel. Another person, concerned person, had to get her bus fare and send her home to her mom. So she was still doing this crazy stuff and talking about your Babylon family's not your real family, and blah 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 blah. And she and her mother, I don't know, something happened in the kitchen, and the girl turned over some dishes, and the girl turned around and stabbed her mother, and her mother ended up dying.
Wow, that
That's
is
what
so
happened.
Okay,
crazy.
Mariah
Ryan,
Lynn. That's
Ryan,
Mariah
can
Lynn.
you
Yo,
can you
yo,
let
when
up
you
Black
said that,
Velvet?
that resonated in my head. My dad used to teach doctrine of separation. That's his term. You need to separate from your family. Oh my God, that's so crazy. And that it literally makes people volatile against people in their family and people that try to question their master or their leader. It's so.
Okay, Ryan, babe, let Sugar and Spice and Black Velvet up. Let
None of
them
them
up.
are here. Oh, Black Velvet's here. I don't
Yeah,
see
and
Sugar and
Sugar and
Spice.
Spice, Sugar
She's
and
not.
Spice.
She's not here.
Okay, she's not there.
Yeah. But I mean, the other people, if they want to come up, I just don't want drama. Please, no drama, please. Guys, be at peace. I come in peace.
All right.
Hello?
Whoa,
Somebody's mic is
mute
loud.
yourselves. Mute yourselves.
Oh, oh, there you go.
Okay,
Then. Thank you.
okay. Let's go. Let's go with
Does
it,
somebody
ladies.
want to say something?
Yeah. Come on,
Anybody?
ladies.
If anyone want to talk?
Hi,
Yeah,
yes,
I consider myself to be a missionary for combination, and I just don't understand why you're doing this.
You
You
what?
said what?
I consider myself to be a missionary of carbonation, and I just don't.
Yeah, well,
Bye.
bye bye.
Bye.
We're not trying to
Wow.
recruit. We're not trying to recruit
Wait.
for
A
nah.
missionary. Wait.
Oh,
Time out. Time out.
Get
I'm
rid of
I
her.
want
sorry.
to catch her up
Oh,
because
we
she
just
does
had.
need to
We
understand why
just
we're
had.
doing this.
We just had a woman say she's a missionary of a slave master. That's crazy. Okay.
well, you
I
should
would
have
have
kept her
kept
up
her up to
because
explain it.
she needs to understand what she's a missionary
I didn't do
for.
that. I don't know. I don't. Somebody was at
Oh,
admins.
okay.
Get rid of her.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
touch something. I didn't touch something.
Or
I
maybe
have a
she left
I
herself.
don't worry,
Oh.
I got it. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
But
I
listen, if
have a
girls from Carb come up here, do not boot them. I want to talk to them
All
because
right,
Right.
all right, all right,
something can resonate.
all
Anyone
right.
else?
I have a couple questions. Um I I come in peace. I just have a few questions I wanted to ask. It seems like there's some basic information that should be known that you don't seem to know. So I was wondering, are you against going back to the drawing board and doing a little bit more research,
Of course, I'm not
and
against
then
that. Of course not.
okay, and then maybe coming up with some ideas after that?
Yeah,
The second thing, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, no, good, good, yeah. Listen,
The second thing was, we all know Star is mentally not there,
yeah,
and talking about a lot of the things that, as far as maybe the smell, the shoes. I know people are saying that it's not being said with malicious intent, and it's the truth, but some of those things may make someone else within the group not want to come forward because they don't know what might be said about them if and when they
Right.
choose to disconnect from the cause.
right.
Right.
And the third thing, I think a lot of the attention has become more of Ryan, you trying to, I guess, not make people believe who you are and who you say you are, as opposed to the mission. When
Right.
I come here, 90% of the time, it's that. I come here for information on what else can we do, what else can be done to move forward.
Right.
And 90% of the time, it's always you saying what I didn't mean. You're covering up the words that you may have misspoke. Blue, it seems like you're able to get to talk to Ryan, which is a good thing because when everyone else talks, Ryan, it just seems like you're very defensive. And I hear a lot of good ideas, but because I think so many people have been coming after you, you're not willing to listen to everybody. Everybody's ideas is coming off to you as they're, trying to
Be,
get at you when it's not that.
I just want to let you know that Bigo has. I've never really understood how racist people are until I came on Bigo. I've never had. I have a right to feel the way I feel
You
sometimes
absolutely do.
because they're calling me white devil. My mom is seeing me on social media with this piece of shit on the side of me, saying that we
You
work
have every
together.
right to feel
It
some
affects
type
me
of way, and
directly, and
I
I'm
get it.
sorry that I
But you
keep
can't
on.
come here and show that to them because this gives them. This is what they want to see.
What?
Like
No,
this makes
he's
them
already
think,
blowing
oh,
now.
he's not stable enough to take. Like they don't need to
What?
see this. When you're
What?
going through, this makes them think that you may not be stable enough to do this. So when you're
But
going through what you're going through, go through it by all means because you're entitled to that. But don't let them see that here.
the ones that say that I'm not stable enough to do this, have they done anything to fly women out and try to get them to go to the FBI, do anything?
I
Because
understand
they
what you.
probably don't even have enough money to
Okay.
buy an airline ticket, the ones that talk like that. I'm so sick of the lot people that just come on here, not you, and they want to bash this because they have made this a reality show for them.
You
This
just
is
took
their
it right back to
pandemic.
what I was saying,
Bobby,
Ryan.
this is their pandemic Netflix. I don't like that, man. That's all I'm saying. So why do people go to different lives and they'll sit and listen to a guy talk shit about nature for 5 hours? Or guys
Everything
talk
I
shit
just
for
said, everything I just said, you admit
everybody
anything.
stands all beans and stuff, and I'm like,
Ryan,
forget about the
So let
beans.
Ryan,
me ask the
Ryan,
question. Out of everything I
Ryan, hold
just
on,
said,
hold on.
that's all you
Everyone
got
be
out of that.
quiet for a second. Ryan, look at me. Did you receive a message from the T?
No, absolutely not. I
Have you
every
checked all of your
every single one.
messages?
I even requested the tea, and they never responded. It
I
still
have
says repulsive.
I have a question for
So there
everybody
is a
that's on this planet, on this panel.
miscommunication. There is
Did
a
ev-
miscommunication right now. And that's why I cammed up because I want him to see my face. There is a miscommunication. He is not ignoring people. He has messages, tons of messages.
Yeah,
I didn't say that.
I know,
I
but
have
Talking
a
to me,
question. I
Blue?
he's
have a
reading the
real
comments.
question.
He's
Excuse me,
looking at
I
the
don't mean to
comments.
interrupt. But does anybody stop to think that Nature Boy is a planted agent?
No,
And
he's
this
not.
is why, wait a
He's not.
minute, and this is why he's not being taken down. This man has been arrested in multiple countries.
That is possible,
Because
and the
they
people have been
because the
saying that for a
defense says
couple
doesn't
for
have nothing.
years now.
No
Wait a
victim,
minute,
no
what happened?
no victim, no witness, no crime. Because in all these countries, and because of looking at Beagle and all these PKs that people do with him, and people are coming on and they talk to him like idiots, it's making it look like this is a reality TV show. So the government's
No,
not taking it serious.
sweetheart, this man has been on multiple platforms. I started watching him when he first started on Facebook. Okay, this man has been arrested in multiple countries. He's been ran out of countries,
She's
And
right.
and for some reason, out of all of the stuff that he does, our government is very familiar with cult leaders. He has all of the characteristics of a cult leader, and
yeah, but
they have taken
Is
people down like Malachi
characteristics
Z. York and all of these other people that they've taken down. But for some reason, they don't touch him. And
characteristics do not equal an arrest, right?
Okay,
So
I
you
want to
have
be
to
wait a
have
minute,
clear.
I was trying to
so
make a
time out.
point.
She wasn't
Time
done,
out.
So,
y'all.
The
She wasn't
so
reason
done.
why Malachi
okay.
York was
Okay,
taken down
I know why Malachi York was
She
taken
was
down. I
using
just
because
used him
children
as an
had
example.
herpes.
she was
Because
using it
children
as an
have
example,
herpes.
And those
y'all.
same children
Oh
as adults,
God.
and those same children as adults
excuse
recanted their
me.
stories.
There's the
But I wasn't using,
Hey,
I was just
It was
using,
just an example.
right, it was just an example. He has all of the characteristics of a cult leader. Our government is familiar with cult leaders. But in the time of what's being a gender war between black men and black women, he can be used as an instrument, just like Kevin Samuels.
Hmm.
These people are dangerous.
the lady. I will
they
give
are
this. I'm gonna.
dangerous, but
All right, let me. I'm gonna say real quick. 1 second, guys. I just want to tell everybody this. 1 second, okay? All right. I don't know if I learned how to mute the panel. I don't know how to do it. I just whatever. You guys don't have to mute. Just listen. The lady at the FBI. There was a lady and a guy. When I gave her the recordings, she looked at it and she goes, "This looks like a game. If this is an outrage, why is he getting gifts?" Like she's like, "What is it?" She didn't know what it was. Like she was looking at all this stuff pop up. That's what's making it's the fact that people come on here and gift this fool and go and literally make this do PKs with him so that they could monopolize, which is ridiculous. and it's making what the Federal Bureau of Investigation said. If there's such black outrage, then why are they in there still watching him, supporting him? That's what her question was. I didn't want to answer it because I was like, I don't know, but I know women have been hurt, and that's what's the bigger objective. So they said they're willing to investigate, but that's what's really hurting this is everybody going in there and camming up with him. He tells the government it's a reality show in every country he goes. That's a fact. It's a
My
known fact.
thing is
Yeah, he
this.
said that before.
My thing is this, right? If they go back and they look at him from Facebook, him from Instagram, him from any other platform, because Bigo seems to be like a game to everybody. But if they actually did the research on him, they would see the outrage. How many people are outraged by what he's doing? They wouldn't focus on people who supporting him now. They can follow the trail. It's all there.
Right, right. But see, I went in with the wrong objective. I should have
Okay.
never showed that FBI agent Beagle because this thing.
Okay.
She said this makes it look like a game, and I just like, oh damn! I was like,
Well,
that's
again, Ryan. Again, that comes from not fully researching who he is and what he does and what other people have been doing
oh,
and are still
they're
doing.
still wide open to it though. So if their victim will come forward,
Well,
So, can I
Like,
say something real quick? Because I got to go back to work. So, how about instead of going after Nature Boy, we go for the girls? What if you decided that you go to each family and go to the courts and get a power of attorney over each one of them girls? That way they have no choice but to go back to their families.
and that's a very good point because in the state which I live, it's called being sectioned. And you guys, if you know of any family members, to let them know in their state there's a thing called being sectioned. If your family can go before a judge, I don't. You gotta check your state laws and tell the judge that they are a danger to themselves. They sign a thing to have them sectioned. The police will arrest them and put them in an institution until I think it's a 72-hour hold, and then they go before a court to determine their mental stability. So look into
Exactly. And then they can't go back to him. And if they can't
right.
go back to him, then what is he going to do? Because if they go back and they refuse to go, then they're going to be arrested again. And he's going to be arrested for harboring their asses. So what if you stop
That's
going
exact.
after him and go after the girls?
I just
That's
wanted to
what we can
respond
learn
really
about,
quick
right? Is the girls. So
in
we
the
can learn about the
comments.
girls. Let's go after them. Fuck
Don't
Nature
worry
Boy.
about the
Because
comments.
without
No,
Don't
no,
him,
worry about the
I want to tell you
comments.
guys what happened. One of these days, because my mother it was the wife to my father. I'm gonna bring her on here because like what we did, my mother, my sister, my brother, and my other brother, myself, we went to the court and we did that to my father. They arrested him at the church and had him sectioned because he was going like when he was losing it like him, and they took him in and it had him they held him. So you can definitely do that, but it's state by state. So it's depending on where they're from. Like if any of the girls are from Massachusetts, you can have them sectioned. I
Can
don't
I
know.
ask you another question, Ryan? Did you
Yeah,
try any of the other girls who have outright spoken out about him? The girl who
yeah.
wrote the book about it?
Sybil says she wants nothing to do with it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, guess what? Her book can be entered as evidence.
I
These
know.
videos that
Well,
these girls put out can be entered as evidence.
see, the problem with that is any smart defense attorney is going to say, Your Honor, they were acting. This is a reality TV show. This is why he had NDAs. Because it's all, I bet you he has it set up all like that to cover his own ass. Oh, and I said sacrifice a baby. That's part of the show. Yeah, I just have a feeling that a jury might buy into that. And you know what's going to suck? The other shitty part is hey, I stand here and give the man credit. I mean, I think personally, and I'm very heterosexual, but I think that he's a good-looking man. One girl in that jury box looks over there, and he's doing his thing with his lips. We're gonna have an issue, so we really gotta find some real, like, heavy, duty stuff, like that could be no disputing the truth, like smoking gun
well,
evidence.
you mentioned about the baby, the death of the baby, and it not being recorded.
Right,
Um, so is that like an avenue to go down
definitely,
about
but
this
now
baby that was born?
Yes, and also like I wanted to go as far as trying to get a crew together to try to follow these guys to every commune they go to and tell and get an Airbnb right on the side of them and get the mics out and tell everybody they're a cult so they leave and go in the woods forever. I don't
But
know.
Ryan, all of that has
Wait,
been. That's
Talk
my
about
point. All of
sheep
that has been
but
done
sheep
already.
babies being
You
raised by
guys, they had a whole
and
team
that's
following.
a self-announced pedophile.
Oh, I
right.
know.
Okay, Ryan. All
And
I'm gonna say, I'm about to
Came
leave.
out and said he
All I'm gonna
tried
say,
to molest
Ryan.
his
I'm
sisters.
I'm about to drop down. I'm going live with my own shit. But all I'm gonna say is good luck to you. Because
Mm.
at this point, it just seems like it's a whole circus, and 95% of the people that's coming over here to your channel is just it's all for entertainment at this point. So good luck. I hope you find what you're looking for, and it is what it is.
I mean,
And
thank
Ryan,
you.
I have one more thing to say to you. He didn't always have these girls signing NDAs. And it wasn't always seen. He didn't always say it was a reality show. That started on Instagram when people started calling it love and flip flops. So
Okay,
now the thing is to do the research through his prior videos, if you can get access to them, and find out at what point did he start making them sign NDAs. He didn't always do that. And he
right.
didn't always claim it was a reality show.
I've been watching all these videos. I look. I got them on his MySpace. As far as MySpace, I've been searching everything. I know. I really want to try to find his adopted parents because they should know a lot about. I know where they are too. So it's all right. At least you better call them. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I'm telling you right now, like there are avenues to go, and I just what the biggest one for me is like for us, even the Federal Bureau of Investigation said the only one that could really help with the situation are women that have credibility. So if you bring someone in and they have been through a lot, and say he finds a broken girl that has a bad past, like maybe prostitution or something bad or whatever. Oh, I said girl, woman, because I look at them like babies. They're little kids to me, guys. I'm
They
freaking
are
39
they are
years
very
old,
broken
38,
children. He's a
39 soon.
broken boy. He's a
Ugh,
broken boy inside of a man's
I
body.
don't know.
And everything that has been done to him, he does to other people. He's sick. And I fully support you in doing this because for the last few years, I'm like, yo, this dude is so dangerous and he's a poison to the community. He's taking other people's information and repackaging it. These girls and these boys have never heard this information until he came along. This information is old. It's very old. And it's been out there. And there's been other people who taught it, but they didn't teach it in a cult like manner. You know, he comes with this whole I get downloads. No, bruh, you have watched some of the greats who teach this stuff and you've used their information.
And any of you ladies that might be listening and thinking about going to carbonation, and those girls are all happy, I want to let you know every morning they are forced to download and make it look like it's paradise. And that what Star told me every morning he would wake up and choose who he wanted, and you have to download every day. So when they look happy, that's an act. It's all an act.
Well, he uses repetition. This is why he keeps them up for
Yeah,
hours. He keeps them up for hours, and
yeah.
he's
The,
he's pushing this information repetitiously in their heads. He is a great manipulator. He's very charismatic. He has all the characteristics of a cult leader, and I don't
Right.
understand how I don't
No,
I
like
really don't like this dude, and
do you
I'm
want to
going to
know
say
what?
I
really don't
I
like
feel
this dude.
like Brian keeps telling us we don't have like hardcore
Right,
evidence. So a
it's
person
true.
can have all the characteristics, but one of the things is like if he has that much power, and I was talking about this on somebody's panel, people were like, "Well, why don't somebody just call the police?" He has so much power over those people over there that they will lie for him. So
Yes.
somebody is going to call the police. Somebody's going to call the FBI, but they're going to be like, nope, I didn't get abused. Even Malia, she's saying that she's not abused with two ports hanging out of her back, with things like that, because he has this much power and he knows that a lot of people don't understand cults. So
Right.
he's going to use everything in his power on top of us not having, unless they go over there and they catch him in the act of beating someone, they're not going to arrest him because all they're going to say is, no, no, that didn't happen. So I'm all for a raid of, their whole operation, but we got to see how we can do that without them knowing, first of all. And two, we got to know what we're looking for if we go in there and raid, because even if somebody said, okay, well, I'm just going to call the FBI or I'm going to call somebody, even if you said that, you have to have probable cause, and I mean real probable cause. Malia could actually be the one to take this whole thing down, but she's still under his control.
She
I
won't.
Not
mean,
Velvet,
I'm
Malia,
not a,
because Malia is the one that's near death.
right. I
Sorry
get
for.
it. I get it. I get it. I'm passionate about this because I
Mhm.
don't like this dude. And
Yep.
when he came to my city, I wish I had have known, because you know what? It's gonna actually take the community to do something about him, technically.
Right.
That's why I was asking everybody to meet in Washington and protest, but I don't think people will show up, honestly.
Man, listen, when I'm talking about it, it's going to take men. It's going to take our men to stand up and say, you know what, bro,
Guys,
this is enough.
And a
um,
lot of our
the
men
other
follow him secretly.
Right.
A
They
lot of them
do.
Wait,
follow
what,
him.
if I could find like 5 strong men, we could go there and we
Ryan,
could.
Ryan, I tried to tell you about Trill. Trill was the last
Oh, the one
black
that everybody,
man.
yeah, I
Yeah,
remember.
but he was in the live
I know.
commenting, and I didn't send you the screenshots.
I
But
know about
but
it.
a lot of our black men are in that live, enjoying seeing a black man
But
treat black women this way.
Hmm.
They
Well, you got
enjoy
to
it.
understand, there's a big thing going on now, as far as gender wars are concerned. It's everywhere. And men, a lot of our men want to see women go back to the 1700s and the 1800s. They want to have total control. And he preaches to have total control over your women. And this is why they are supporting him.
because I'm gonna tell you, and this is the same thing my father told me. I said, Dad, how do you have this much control? I told this in one of my lives. Feed the ego of the man, and then the domino effect of the control of the women. Once you have the man, you have the woman, and they follow lead. And right, that's how cults work. That's how Jim Jones worked. That's how what is David Koresh? They all do this type of stuff. What I just don't want what happened in Waco, Texas, to happen in Puerto Rico. Like I don't want to see these girls all dead and dying. Like that's all. Like if I could get 5 men that are strong enough and bold enough to come with me to Puerto Rico and get an Airbnb wherever they are, like we could make his life a living. He ain't gonna do nothing. Trust me, guys.
If
Come
I were
on.
you, that's not the route I would go. If I were you, I would
We could.
start with Malia's family. Because right now she's the one that's gonna could bust this wide open. She's the one that's in the hospital. She's the one that's visibly sick that we know of. And then I would go from her family to her. Because if they make a case, if they put a case in for, they can do that. She was over in this cult. She came back sick. They knew she was well. They start the case. You work with them to create the case. From there, you go from there. Because right now, I know that Velvet is his wife and she's doing her own thing, so she may be an in, but where we really have where people are vulnerable right now is Malia and her family. So if I were you, I would go and I would offer to help her family.
Right.
Like, so if any of you know any information like about her family, can you DM it to my inbox? I only have
To
one
your
plat. That's Instagram.
IG or this
IG,
inbox.
just my IG because I really like Pico. I don't know, the messages are weird. Like I don't really know how to like see them. Like I don't even know how to mute the whole panel. I'm not like people like wants beans.
Yeah, I would bet. I'm willing to bet that if you were helping her family, that might be a little bit better.
Where are they
The
from?
only thing I would say is Louisiana.
There's New Orleans.
So Yeah, New Orleans. The only thing I would say is Malia is still under heavy mind control, so
Right.
you may not be able to get an interview from her. However, you can get an interview from a person
Her
in her
family.
family. Then you go to the media in New Orleans. So if you could reach out to them and help them get media attention on her case in particular, that would be your first step.
That's
Right.
And
And
that's how you put together a
I'm
plan.
sorry.
What's her
He's
name?
always in the
Tanisha?
news as a cult leader. Anytime anything happens with
Yes,
him
he has
that's
a whole
and that
newsworthy,
that's
BBC
it's
documentary.
and
it's
guys,
a
that's the good reason that the FBI leaves this case open right now, is leaving it open for victims because the cult part. So when they saw Vigo and I said like, come here, look at this guy, it's the cult. Like this is a cult. Like, and that's why they're leaving it open right now.
But
So like,
did anybody explain to them that he's on Bigo because he lives off donations?
right,
Like
I
that's
did
how he
explain to him that
lives.
this is how he makes his money, and he has these young people that send him the money. This is how he travels. This is his getaway, like his money. I don't even. I'm sure he has other ways to get money too. Doesn't he make take all their money too?
Yes, he
Because
takes
I know,
everything.
yeah,
Everything. The
and
minute you
that's
get there,
another
you have to
route
give
that
up your phone,
they're
your
looking into
debit
right
card,
now.
your food stamp card, your
That's a good
money,
thing,
whatever thing. The girl Tori, she had to give up her
ladies.
VA money.
Carb
Like
Nation
it's
girls.
crazy.
Just so you know, Carb Nation girls. Every single one of those agents saw your picture and they put it into a machine. And if you gave him any money out of your thing, which is your stimulus, and you filed like I say, Aaliyah, what was it, Malia? If she said she was in New Orleans and she was in Puerto Rico with him, she will go. That's insurance fraud. That's a federal crime. What you really want to
Well,
go to prison with
listen,
him?
that's another thing too.
Come on,
They
man.
get food stamps, they get all of these
I
things.
know.
So
Star
that's
told me everything, and guess
right.
what?
So
Guess
then that's a start. That's a
yeah.
start. That's a start.
Well, they already know. They already know what he did because guess what? In order to fly somebody, you need their name and their date of birth. So they already got that info.
Like that girl, I
Right.
watched when Eliana Velvet was having her baby. That girl could have died. That girl almost died. He's in there arguing with
Mm.
these doctors about not giving her a C-section. Like, what are you talking about?
Serenity did the same thing. Serenity almost died in a hut in
Because
the jungles of wherever they were at the
right now, the number one
time.
thing
Huh?
the government right now the number one thing the government is looking into is they want to get these the DUA PUA fraud. This any people that committed this stimulus fraud, that's a big thing because it's federal, which means that's bigger than right now being beaten a woman. That's a bigger crime. So get them on the smart ones. So I was
Well,
just responding to a comment. I'm sorry.
Malia took out a $35,000 PPP loan or whatever. So getting him
Yeah,
and
thirty-one
Wait,
thousand.
her
was
family
it
is
the
really
PP
motivated.
payment protection loan? I know all about the payment
Yep.
No, it was
PPP, right?
the SBA loan.
SBA loan. Okay, because I was like PPP, they're not a company. I was like, how did they get that? Okay, all right. Well, a small business. I was, well, he is a business, but a
Right.
legal business. But wow, 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 wow. I mean,
Yeah, but yeah, and
I'm gonna let him
then
speak. All right? I
the
don't know.
next, well, I just really champion it. I'm just really up here to champion you to continue to gather information and put together a plan. But
Guys, this is a
hopefully,
young
you
lady
got
right
a
here
place
that
where you
grew up
can
with him.
start.
She went to school with him. She grew up with him. She knows his parents. Candy, can you hear me? I don't think she can hear me. No? She's muted. Can't hear you. Candy.
Hey Ryan.
She grew up with him. She knows all about him. Tell these people about him.
Yeah.
The stuff that he was telling me, everybody. Wait.
Oh well.
Mhm.
Okay. So yeah, a lot of
Can I ask you
people.
a question, though, real quick, Candy?
Yeah.
If you know he does this, right? Do you don't think that, like, knowing, like, he does this, like, in his lives, like, why does he, like, he lets you in there because do you say anything to the ex members?
Okay, so look, if you pay attention, right, there's a couple videos with me like verbally assaulting and dragging him. But if you pay attention, it's never from my main page. It's because I hopped up from a troll page. The thing is,
Oh,
Nature Boy knows me. He knows me very well. So after he notices my voice, I feel like he's just
careful. He doesn't want to disrespect. He doesn't want to make me mad because he knows I have receipts. So I think his thing is like he want to be as careful with me as possible because he know I talk to all his siblings still. I know his family very well. I think he's just afraid of me. So like when people see me pop up, I'm never popping up from my main page. It's always a troll page because he has me blocked. But yeah,
Yeah.
once he notices who I am, the reason why he's silent and trying to like pacify it is because he's afraid. But
Uh,
yeah, I see people saying, "Oh, Candy's Nature Boy's ex-boyfriend." I'm like, "Fuck y'all! I would never. I've never dated that boy. We grew up together, and so Nature Boy has a brother named
what?
Leo, and
Where's
Leo was
Leo?
kind of slow too, but Leo was cool. So everybody who's grown up from the hood, you grew up with those slow kids, right? But Eli was different. We used to call him Cross-eyed Eli. That's Eligio, Nature Boy, or whatever y'all want to call him. But we called him Cross-eyed Eli.
Wait, he was.
Was
I thought he
a
was
real
raised
creep.
in a nice suburb with adopted by a Caucasian family.
Oh
Huh?
yeah, he was adopted by the richest family that I've
So
I've
how was
ever
he in the
known in my
hood?
life.
They lived in
Willingboro,
the
New
hood.
Jersey. Hmm?
Oh, they lived in the hood
No,
of
no,
a
no, no,
family.
no, 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 no,
Oh,
no, no, no. He did
oh,
not. Okay, so
oh,
I'm
okay.
from the hood, but my grandmother lived in Willingboro, New Jersey. Her home was right across the street from the Bishop's Church. Okay, the Bishop's
Can you mute
neighborhood,
your mic?
the Bishop's neighborhood was the kind of neighborhood that we couldn't go to unless it was Halloween. And I grew up in a different religion, so I grew up not celebrating Halloween, which is why I wasn't there. So I'm just saying in general,
Somebody is too
like
loud.
his neighborhood was
Yeah.
the kind of neighborhood that we couldn't go to. And if there was black kids there, it was because it was Halloween. Like he grew up in a beautiful suburb. A beautiful suburb. Rich folk. They were in church. If they went to church at 6 a.m., they didn't leave till 2 a.m. And that's no exaggeration. That
What
boy knows the
denomination?
Bible.
What denomination was he? Do you know? Like, was he
Oh,
Protestant, Pentecostal? Do you know?
I'm, I'm,
Baptist?
I'm not even gonna say. I'm not even gonna say. I'm not even
You
gonna
don't know
say.
what
What I can
denomination?
do, what I can do is I can send you direct links of the church. It's still there. The bishops moved their church, but the church is still there. I can send you direct links of
Can you please send
the.
it to my IG? Please,
Yeah, I'll
please.
do
It's
that. Me and Nature Boy, we went
oh,
to a school together called what was it called? The Gospel Academy. The Church of God Gospel Academy. It's a private school. The private school, it was a school that was by all black folk. Um yeah, they did teach the Bible, but it was all black folk. Like I didn't see my first white teacher till I went to private school. So while Nature Boy tries to preach like, oh, I was raised by these white folks who taught me to hate my skin, that's not true because tell me what white family who will adopt you don't give a fuck about your skin color, but will drive a whole hour out of their way so you can go to school with all black people. Just so you can experience people that look like you. That doesn't make sense. A family that don't give a fuck about you is not even going to do that. You know what I mean?
right.
If you talk to his brothers like Leo, Wayman, Annie. Now Leo and Wayman are his adopted brothers, but Annie is the she's the biological child of the bishops. And that's actually the girl who is the reason why he went to that insane asylum. I feel like that was the last straw when he got caught on top of her. But if you speak to them, you will learn a lot more. Like this church, it wasn't the kind of church where if you move into the neighborhood, you could pull up to this church and say, like, pray for me. You know what I mean? Like the church was almost cult like
Like
people.
really like begging for you to send me the link to that church because I know a lot of pastors throughout the country, and I just want to know like where it is because I'm gonna.
Do
And
you
I'm
know
very
anything about New Jersey? Do you know anything about
yes.
New
I was
Jersey?
just in Union City a couple weeks ago.
Union City.
Yeah,
Okay. She's a
Bergen,
little
North
okay.
Bergen.
Williamsburg's a little further
Yeah.
down there. I'm closer to you. I grew up in Newark, so I'm a little closer to Union City,
I will.
but I can send it
That's
to you
funny.
now.
I had to pick someone up at the train station in Newark. That's a lot of cops over there.
Okay. Yeah, I grew up
Oh
in
my
Baxter
god.
America. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it
like
says it.
Nature Boy, for example, they weren't allowed to listen to no music or nothing. So my
Hold
grandma's
on.
house
I have a
was
question. Candy,
yeah.
you spoke about his sister's nipple. Did he bite her nipple off? Did he rip her nipple off? What happened with his sister's nipple?
Okay, so I wasn't I wasn't there. for whatever he's done to her nipple. I wasn't there for. What I was there for was her nipple being bandaged. The story that Nature Boy ripped her nipple off. Well, Eli, because that's what they called him. They didn't call him Eligio. His name was Eli. Eli ripped her nipple off, but we don't know if he bit it. We don't know what exactly he did because his one thing about Eli was always, I didn't do anything. They're lying on me. They hate me because I'm black. So we don't know. We don't know because whatever happened to her was at the home. The only reason why we know that her nipple was half off was because, like I told you, we were raised in the church that was right. When I tell you across the street from my house, I'm from New Jersey. So if you're from the South, y'all blocks are not like our blocks are literally blocks. You understand? So if your house is right here and the next street is here,
I'm
it's
from
very
Queens. I'm from
okay. So you
Queens.
feel me then? So
Right.
yeah. So our church was I mean their church was across the street from our home. So I know that we remember the bandage. The brothers told us what happened. The brothers got in trouble for telling us what happened, but I wasn't there. I physically wasn't there. So I can't say if he bit it. I don't know what he done to her. I just know that he is the one that done something. So a little bit after that, right, he got caught on top of her. And that's when he called himself running away. And so the thing about New Jersey back in the day, when you would run away, what they would do was the police would pick you up and you would go to YDC until your parents came to get you or whatever. So they were telling us he was in YDC. So we like, Leo, where the fuck is Eli? He just disappeared. And that's when they finally told us that Eli was in the hospital in Virginia, that's when he was convicted to that insane asylum. And he was convicted because he was found on top of Annie. They never told us he raped her, fucked her. They didn't even go into no detail. All we know is he was found on top of her. I don't know what happened to her nipple. I know that she was fucked up. I seen the bandage. I seen it with my own eyes. This is not hearsay. This is me there physically. So I wasn't there when the actual assault happened. I don't know exactly what he did to her, but I know he did something. And the one thing about the Bishops is this is a powerful, powerful family. Like when I first came out and talked, I was really hesitant because they're very, very powerful. But one thing I realized about them is it's like Eli, like even when he would kill animals and shit like that, it was almost like they would kind of brush him out of getting in trouble, but not because they thought what he was doing was right, but more so because we don't want people to think that our family isn't perfect. You understand? Because this is a rich ass family in New Jersey. Like this is a family that has this perfect image. They're so prestige. They have all these rehabs where they take care of drug addicts and they care for black folks, but they don't even give a fuck about black folks for real. Okay?
Candy,
This is
Candy,
did you ever hit me up? Did you ever DM me? Because I never got one.
Oh, I didn't. You never gave. I thought I gave you my
I
Instagram.
don't,
I
I
didn't
don't,
get your Instagram.
Candy,
can you put in the
can you
comments
can
again
But
for her,
send it
please?
to me. I'll hit
Candy,
you up.
alright.
Candy, just from what you're saying to me, it sounds like he grew up in a cult behavior type family,
Yeah.
and
Right.
this
And
is where he
that's the
gets it from.
right. And
He
that's
was
the thing. I'm
groomed
gonna go
for
on
it.
record and I'm gonna
Leela,
say this. I'm gonna say this. I am not saying the bishops church are a cult. All I'm saying is my perception, my opinion is it
Right,
was cult like.
right. That's what I
And I'm
was
gonna just
saying. It
say
was
that for
cult
legal
like.
reasons.
No,
Okay.
it seems like it, and because they are rich and powerful, nobody's really paying attention because they do so much community outreach work. It's all
Right.
a disguise of who they
Right.
really are. Because anytime you go to church from 6 to 2, I don't care if you was my grandmother, something ain't right.
That's
Right.
right.
Right. So listen, so Eli was so bad, right? So for example, he would be in church, they would put him in a car. If they put him in a car at 11 a.m., he stayed in there till 4 p.m. And I remember one time,
Jesus.
I will never forget because my grandmother was like so mad. She was so mad about this. He shit himself and smeared doodle all over their car. And it was a
Mm.
limousine car. Y'all remember? See, I'm a little older than y'all probably. But y'all know the limousines back in the day were two They had the 4-door limousines, but they were the limousine
Right.
cars. I don't know if y'all
I
know.
remember.
I'm a little older, but so yeah, it was a
I'm
limousine
probably
car.
about your age too, because you and
Okay,
him are close to age. I might be a little
yeah.
older than you guys.
Okay, yeah, I'm a couple
I,
years,
I
a year or
really
two
just
younger.
want. I really,
This,
you don't have to say the name. What I mean is denomination is were they Pentecostal, Protestant, Baptist,
right.
non-denominational,
I
Lutheran.
doubt if
Instagram me,
they
Or,
were
Instagram me.
Baptist.
For legal reasons, I'm not because I've already had issues. I spoke out about Eligio months ago, but I had some legal shit going on because of that. So I will speak to you
Wow.
privately, but
yes,
there's some
okay.
things that I'm not. You know what I mean? I
Oh,
want to be careful. Like I came out and said that them folks are white folks, and apparently legally that was wrong. You know, some shit I didn't know. So I just want to be careful with that. But I will definitely talk to you privately. I have receipts. I have pictures. I
can
have a
you put
class
my
picture of us. You
right
know,
here?
like
Please, please message me.
I'm the real
Like,
deal. So
This,
I
this,
really
this,
don't,
this,
because if anyone
okay.
sends hate, I don't care. I just block them.
This
So,
dude has mental issues. He has personality disorders.
yeah,
He
he
has like
OCD.
18 different personalities.
He used
I
to
have
kill
seen him
animals.
shift. I have seen him literally shift personalities on live. It's
Right.
really nuts. And I'm like, maybe because I'm a little too, I see the world for what it really is,
You read
right?
between the lines.
No, I see the world for what it really is.
Mhm.
I'm no longer stuck in the matrix. So a lot
Right.
of things that I see, people don't see.
Right.
And so it's always a pleasure to be amongst people who can see the things that I see.
Right.
And this dude is dangerous. And what I
Right.
really want to say on this panel, I cannot.
Right. But
But
what
you
I
from
will
the hood,
say,
that you're from the hood, so I get, you probably know where I'm going with it.
I do.
I think
But I
that's the
will
only way
say,
he can be stopped.
a lot of people has always talked about like why his family and the people close to him won't come out and talk. And I will say this is these people they're wanting to talk. They're not
it's
wanting
Queen
to do
TJ.
social media. They don't want to do social
Queen,
media.
can you come
Now,
up?
if it's someone that directly could help as far as the FBI or something like that, then they're all for it. You know, like Tiffany
Queen, if you
Andrews
guys
had a little
listen,
issue because she didn't like when I
well, one
spoke
second,
about
just
her
gotta say
medical
something.
incident,
If
but
any of you
it's leaked
guys
out.
listen, please message me because they said we need to talk. Just go, please. My IG is the only thing. I don't know how to do act like at the end of the night and I reinstall it because it's so like it takes up a lot of like memory and battery. So my only thing, I only have IG, nothing else. Like, other platforms. Well, I have Facebook, but I don't go in there. I hate Facebook. It's old.
Yeah.
But
I see a lot of people
what's up,
talking about
King?
Tanisha and
King,
stuff
what are
like
you
that.
talking about? I
But
didn't see you
so
put your comment.
listen, Nature Boy went away to the insane asylum when he was 14, right? We didn't see him till 5 years fucking later. But I remember vividly, like, for example, they had
King,
a
you want to come up?
lockdown. They had a lockdown at the bowling alley in Eatontown, New Jersey. Before they changed the bowling alley to a paint shop, they had a lockdown and he couldn't go because he had to go to the doctor. And it's just like in my mind, I'm like, how do you just drop
How do you?
hepatitis B was a huge part of his life. How the fuck do you just drop that off your fun fact list when you over here giving all these women these downloads and you got these men drinking your fucking sperm? How did you drop
Oh God.
hepatitis B off your fun fact list? You
Guys,
know, like this is
I
not
don't know how to
hearsay
work
Because
this
news.
Beagle stuff.
I don't know how to work Bigo
I'm
either.
trying. I'm trying to follow her. I don't know how to follow her on Vigo in the thing.
I
I
don't be
don't,
I know
on
you
Bigo
keep
a
saying.
lot.
I don't
I
I
even
don't
don't
know
be
be
how
on
on
to
my
Vigo.
give
the best
beans
place to
or
hit
do
me
any
is
of that
Instagram.
stuff.
Okay, Ryan,
I
click
don't
her
want beans. We're
name.
not here for
Click
beans.
click her
But
name and
Number
No, well,
eight.
people,
follow
it's
her.
Number
it.
eight.
now let them
What
A
you do
speak.
is you click on your own box, and then you should see where you can unmute
Why is he
yourself.
muted? Why is he muted? Who muted him?
I don't
Yeah,
I
know.
did.
Hey, number
no.
8.
I don't know.
Uh,
Somebody should be over the controls.
you're telling me that this nigga went into a freaking concise description of how he grew up in Harlem and just
He
He's
didn't
a
grow up in
unmute.
liar.
Harlem.
He damn sure didn't. Nobody
There
knows him.
was
I'm
no
from
Harlem.
Harlem. Nobody knows
Listen,
him.
But
listen,
I will say he
listen,
was
listen.
talking about
When
street
Nature
code, how
Boy,
he grew up in the streets
when
Hold
earlier.
Nature
on,
Boy got
Ryan, let
out of
them talk.
there was no foster care, there was no Harlem. Okay? Now Nature Boy was adopted by the bishops at such a young age that if he he was molested in foster care, he wouldn't even fucking believe it because he wasn't even potty trained before he was adopted by the bishops. There was no fucking foster care. New York, there was no New York. He didn't link up with that chick. His New York experience come from him linking up with a woman whom he met and start fucking with. That's when he went to New York and adopted that persona. The only reason he left New York is because there's actually a man who did 10 to 15 years. Don't quote me. It's either 10 or 15 or it's in between that. It was a co-defendant he had. He snitched on this nigga and he got so scared he ran his ass the fuck up out of there. He was never from New York. And
Wow.
I actually heard today that this guy did an interview, but don't quote me because I didn't hear it myself. But this is not a rumor. This is a this is a real thing. That New York shit, that is not, he never was from New York. He
He's
linked up with a
definitely
girl
not
in
from
New York,
Harlem.
got cool. You know how it is. You start dating a nigga. If your brother and your cousin around, naturally your boo gonna get cool with them.
Yeah, this nigga,
You
Let
know,
me tell you guys
it's some
something. Harlem is
bullshit.
very
That
he
small.
man
described
got
the
caught up.
street.
Him and Nature Boy got caught up together. Nature
He
Boy snitched
described the
on that
street.
guy
He
and
told
he
me
ran
from
his ass
Second
out of New York.
Avenue. He talked about the pizza place. He described mad shit.
He's from
I'm
the east. He claims he's
Girl,
from the
I'm
east
not
side.
from New York, and I can tell
He
you
told
all
me no. He
about the
told yeah, I'm from
Bronx.
the east side of Harlem, the Second
I
Avenue.
could
Right.
tell you all
He's on
about the
from El
Bronx. I'm
Barrio,
not
because
from
that's
New
what they
York.
call it, El
Yeah,
Barrio.
yeah.
It doesn't
That's
matter.
crazy.
I'm not from the Bronx. I could tell you all about the. I could tell you all about the.
Nah,
I'm not from
I'm
South
from right
Philly,
there.
but I
I'm
could tell you all
from
about every bodega in South Philly.
yeah.
Somebody's
I'm
mic
from
is
You know,
breaking up bad.
Washington Heights, so I
Guys, I
figured
can't
like
hear
yeah.
anybody.
yeah. At the end of the
Wait,
day,
come
that's
on,
not.
come
He's
on.
just not
Whose
from
mic
there,
is that?
and that's just the truth.
That's not his mic either.
I
Somebody's
think
mic
it's
is messing
mine.
up
I think
bad.
it's mine.
It might be me.
Uh-uh. I
Yeah.
just.
This
Okay.
dude,
I don't
this
know.
dude is I'm telling you, I
He's
watched this
sick.
dude just really flip personalities and his eyes does this shifting thing. It's really weird. It's like almost a possession.
Okay.
And
So,
so
Right.
so
what
now that you're saying that, let's take into account that maybe he is part of an Illuminati family, and he have to go through the rituals of MK Ultra. Let's say
right.
he this dissociative identity disorder grew from the MK Ultra. Like
Yep.
it's possible.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Right.
He doesn't even. I'm not gonna go into it.
I like you, Blue
It's
Sky.
possible, you know. These people are fucking sick in the
I
head.
like you.
I like you
I
too, but
mean,
I'm not
people
gonna
don't
go into it.
realize
I'm not gonna go
people don't
into it.
Yeah, I feel you. When it go to that, I'm like, yeah, I feel
That
people
you.
don't
that's
even
that's the
realize
part that
that
I'm not gonna go into.
I
people
feel
don't
you.
even
Just
realize
know,
that this spiritual realm is really, really heavy and it's dangerous
But
and you
see,
can use
listen,
it for good or you can
listen.
use it for bad.
When it comes to nature boy and the spirituality, what you got to remember is a lot of people, right? There are people that are in this spiritual conscious community because that's what they genuinely believe. For
Right.
nature boy, that was a way to be a rebel
Cap
towards his family. You
and that
understand?
was a way
Because
for him to
those
program
folks,
people.
those white folks over there, they don't play that spiritual shit. You're not going to go in the bishop's home and tell them God is a black nothing. Okay? This is the family that he was raised by. So I feel like that spirituality shit, it's bullshit. He doesn't believe in that shit.
No, let me
It's
tell you
just a
something.
way
He's
for
using it.
him
Oh, he's
to
definitely using
disrespect
it.
his adoptive parents. And at the end of the day, the bishops, they adopted what was it, 8 to 12 kids? All of those children have an original birth certificate and they have an adoptive birth certificate.
In
Eli
Josie,
is
he's
the
definitely
only
not.
one that only has an adoptive birth certificate, meaning wherever he was born, it wasn't a hospital. Maybe it was a crack house. Maybe somebody dropped him off at the fire station. I don't know. He doesn't know his mother. He doesn't know his father. That's why he made that story up that his father is some fucking Puerto Rican merchant from. He doesn't know. His mama probably doesn't know who the fuck his daddy is. So he doesn't know. And I feel like a lot of his anger growing up because like Leo, we would see Leo family come and pick him up for birthdays, holidays. We never ever seen Eli get picked up or visit by anyone. A lot of his anger is solely based on getting back at other people. He's mad at his mother. He's mad at the black woman, so he's going to infect a bunch of black women. All right. And it's safe to do that because the government don't give a fuck. The government gives a fuck about the fucking taxes you're evading. The government gives a fuck about the money of theirs they're stealing, but they don't give a fuck about our black babies, women, and children. They don't care
They
about that.
don't. They
So
don't.
that is why he's so comfortable. He was raised by white supremacists because he knows what pocket to sit in. He's not a black man that was raised in a fucking fucked up system that was built for black folk. He's not us. Okay?
But that's why he
He
uses white supremacy as a premise, because
right.
he uses that as a premise to make people. Because right now, this era of people are so white supremacy is an energy that we're feeding.
Right.
We can end it completely,
Right.
but
You got
they're
a
still
homegirl
talking
that got a
about
whole you got a homegirl that got a whole clothing line, but you rather go right. People
right.
screaming and shit and they got misguided hate because they're not educated. I feel you, girl.
He's
You got
screaming,
Here-
"I'm
that
a
shit.
healer.
Here's the
I
thing about
healed these
the
women.
MK
I
Ultra
healed them."
about each personality is doing. Those different accents he's
He
using
doesn't.